very good day. I with to Dr. Doria and other classmates. So today we are going to proceed with our case study. Before that, I apologize because we were supposed to present on the first week, but then I had something that is official I had to attend. And then now we are going to present it. First, let me introduce our group members. Our group member consists of me, Muhammad Fikri bin Nurmi, Muhammad Shukri bin Sapwan, and Abdul Hai bin Saleh. So the case study, the title of the case study is Kidgets. So what is Kidget? Let's have a look at this one. Wait. Okay. This case study portrays two different scenarios. One is industrial and one is educational. Okay. So let us move on with the first one, which is the industrial scenario. So here we have James. Here we have James. James work on a conveyor belt. Okay, he makes and he inspects gadget. Basically, he makes and inspect the door handle of the car. And then okay, every day James will receive 450 handles to be measured and to be tested. And James is actually, we can see that James is good at what he does. Okay, he tests, he inspect all the door handles to meet the expectation, and he will also reject in order to meet the specifications set. James will also reject some of the handles that do not meet the expectation. Okay, so this is actually the specification guide. Okay, 16% will be marked as not meeting the spec, and then only 10% will be marked as exceptional. And then James also knows that their customers have certain expectation. Okay, which is in order for the car to be considered as quality car, the door handles must work very well. But one thing that James does not know is that he does not know the process before he received the door handle, what happened to the door handle before he received it, and what happened to the door handle after he finished his station. Meaning to say that he only knows his part very well. He even does not know how the car will look like. Okay, and then one day come, James only know his part of the job lah. Okay, one day there is a new manager named Hannah comes, and Hannah this thing is disturbing. Okay, and Hannah said that what if all handles meet the expectation, and Hannah wants them to focus on the process, not the spec. They will not change the spec, but they will focus on the process. So all Hannah calls the staff to sit down together. They learn the whole process from the beginning until the end. They understand what they do, and towards the end of the day, they manage to reduce the rejected door handles from 16% here to only 0.2%. Okay, to only 0.2%. That is scenario number one. Moving on to scenario number two, which is the educational scenario. So here is Melanie. Melanie is a high school teacher. Every year she will receive 27 kids. Okay. Melanie knows his responsibility, which is to increase students' knowledge and to test the to test the kids. And she also knows the society's expectation in order to consider the kids to achieve the minimum standard. Okay, so kids who do not achieve that minimum, the minimum standard will not graduate towards the end of the year, while those who achieve will be considered as exceptional. They will receive honors, and they will also receive special recognition. Okay, so there are every year there will be 16% of students who will not make it, and only 10% will receive honors. But one thing that I would like to emphasize is that Melanie does not know the background of her student. Okay, she does not know what happened to the students previously, and she also does not know what happened to the students after they graduate. Okay, meaning to say that they don't know whether the students implement the knowledge that she taught uh, at school in the real life, and then she does not know um, the what happened, things that the students went through before. Okay, so but one day there comes a new principal, and the new principal said that what if all kids pass? Initially, Melanie was Melanie laughed. She said that it would be an insult if all students pass, all kids pass, because um, there are certain requirements that to be met, uh, especially the society's requirement. Okay, so in this case study, in this scenario, the result was not mentioned. Okay, the result was not mentioned, and then but the principal want Melanie to focus on the process, which is the teaching and learning process. Okay, that's why Melanie laughed because Melanie laughed when the principal said that ask if what if all kids pass, because some of the kids cannot even read or do simple maths. So the principal asked them to focus, asked Melanie to focus um, on the process of teaching and learning, but there is no result mentioned in the um, in this scenario, in this case study, the second scenario. So, ladies and gentlemen, here what I would like to emphasize here is there are a few things that is important, that is crucial in these two scenarios in the case study. Number one is the process that lead to the product, and number two is uh, the expectation, in which later we will further explain. Okay, so basically that is the case study. I would like to pass to my group member.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I will continue with discussion starter. So our question will be, what is the value of leveling on a curve? What is the harm? And what's the process and system that make it possible for all students to success? Then next we move to what the changes are needed to make all students capable of succeeding in the school, state, or nation, and how can we look at other stage of process to evaluate which learning method are most effective. So there are various elements that will pathway for all students in an institution to succeed. So firstly, school administrative system play an essential role in effective delivery of education. No matter it is on PDPR or PDPC in that's practice. So the administrative system determine the system they intend to use, either is going to be a traditional education system or a modern education system to match the kids towards success in their study. So, however, we find out that there are some changes that needed to enable all students to succeed. So, first, and the mindset of everyone that involved in the child development should be aligned on what is quality education. So exam oriented system that being applied in our country doesn't always work well, as we have some student with exceptional intelligence too. So the attitude of judging student with a different intelligence should be curbed as well. Plus, the school also should put a priorities on the kid, as it will help the teacher and personal plan for better engagement with what learning with for the kids. So let the kid lead the way, as it will teach student to perceive through challenging situation. So that's the quality which will help the success in the future. So lastly, how much a child have success can only determine because it's subjection. It's subjective. It can only be determined through evaluation. So there is a close relationship between evaluation and aims. So we talk about evaluation. It touch on the objective, teaching point, sustainability of learning and ability of each. So that's a discussion. So I will may pass to my friend to continue.
I think Fikri didn't open the mic.
Fikri, can you
Sorry,
unmute
sorry,
yourself?
sorry, sorry. Sorry, sorry. Okay, so class, back to me. Class pula. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, back to me. Um, but before I start, I would like to let all of you know that I am going to give certain analogies but I will relate to the case study, which is process and product. So number one is what our group think is good process lead to high quality product, lead to good product as well. Like in the case study, the principal and the manager asked to focus on the process, okay, to produce a better quality of product. So the analogy that I would like to share with you is, let's say if I will take Lim lah. Let's say Lim has a roti canai stall, a paratha stall. Okay, and then one day Shukri and I go to Lim's roti canai stall. And then we order for roti canai, the same roti canai. But then towards the end of the process, towards the end of the day, we receive our roti canai with different sizes. Okay, mine is a bit bigger, and Shukri is a little bit smaller. It's smaller. So what would be the reason for this? It might be because of the anyone? No one, because it might due to the process. Okay, process because it is human error. It is manually made. What is teba roti canai? The roti canai was being spreaded manually by human being. So the process, there is something wrong with the process there. So in order for Lim to improve the roti canai in terms of the sizes, Lim might want to consider to invest, maybe to invest in some to invest in buying buying a machine like who said this now using a machine, buying a machine and use the machine so that the taste will be the same, the size will be the same. Okay, so that's the first one. The second one is clients expectations toward quality of education. This is very crucial, ladies and gentlemen, because in order for us to set a standard quality, we need to know the client's expectation. This goes to both industrial field or educational field. That's why in the industrial field, companies will have their R&D, research and development, department. So they might need to do some they might need, thank you Fadila, craving roti canai. They might need to use survey to know their clients' expectations. Same goes to educational field, in which we need to know teachers, Ministry of Education, JPN, PPD, teachers, the school, the principal need to know the client's expectation, the teachers, the parents, the stakeholders. They need to know in order for them to set one process ataupun to set teaching or learning that at the end of the day will meet the client's expectation. The product will meet the client's expectation. That is number two. Number three is importance of vision and mission. So it is very important for all the members of an organization to sit down together as a team to set and agree on a standard quality. Okay, so client and customers should be well informed. Thus, they will have mutual expectation, meaning to say that that's why in school we have vision and mission. Even in any organization, we will have mission and mission. But do the clients, do the stakeholders know the mission and vision? Let's say, for example, I take one example of my school. Our mission and vision is to implement 21st century learning, in which it's, I don't say that academic achievement or grade is important, but the kemenjadian murid. What is kemenjadian murid? The product itself,
Student
holistically.
outcome.
Come again? Sorry?
Student outcome.
Yeah, the student outcome is the most important thing. And they are not just being graded by their academic achievement, but by their grade. We look at how they speak. We look at how they perform a task. We look at how they implement the knowledge, the knowledge that they learn throughout the process of learning in class, in the outside world. Okay, and last but not least, what our group think is, one process fits all. So, especially in educational institution, we need to know that we cannot just use one process that fits all, because this is also mentioned by Howard Gardner. We are intelligent differently, multiple intelligent lah. We are different. Human beings are different, so we cannot how do we say, we cannot just use one process that fit all. We cannot judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree. So in class, let me take one example. In class, let's say if I would like to teach past tense on that day, so I explain to class, today we are going to learn past tense, and your success criteria is when you produce something that is related to past tense. Okay, but I must know that in my class, which consists of, let's say, 27 students, they are all different. Some of them might like music. Some of them might like drama. Some of them might like writing. So in order to do so, that's why there are a lot of approaches have been introduced. Actually, the approaches are not new, but I think in our country, I consider as new. Okay, for example, differentiated learning. Okay, so let's say in my class, I have Shukri, I have Devaki, and I have Fadila. Fadila is someone who likes acting, while Lim like music and Shukri likes writing. So whatever it is, Fadila will come out with, for example, drama, as long as you use that past tense. Fadila use past tense. And then Shukri use songs because he likes song. He write and he sing a song. But he use past tense. And siapa tadi lagi seorang? Who's the other one I said? Alah, lupa pula.
Devaki.
Devaki. Okay, sorry. Devaki likes to write. So Devaki will produce an essay, a story that she used past tense in that essay. So that is what we mean as one process cannot fit all. Okay, that is one process fit all. That is for me, that is not suitable to be used in the current situation. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. I pass back to Shukri, is it?
Yes, Fikri.
Okay.
Okay, good evening, everyone. So after we read the article and make some discussion, we propose some points. Okay, the first point is we need to get a big picture of the educational process and not function as a silo. A silo is mean working individually. Okay, so in this article, Melanie just do her work and didn't care about what happened to kids before the kids enter the college and what happened after they graduate. In our opinion, if Melanie can see the big picture of education process, she can improve the way she treat the kids and keep doing improvement. If teacher look on a bigger picture, they will look more on the process rather than just look at the end product, which is exam result. In other words, a teacher must look outside the four wall of classroom. They must look on the bigger picture. Okay. The second point is begin with the end in mind. So we must understand our role in making changes in organization and the needs of our customer. Because every changes that we do will make an impact to our client. Okay. So the third point is appreciate the diversity of student ability. In the article, we have two scenarios here. The first scenario is about industrial quality, quality control for handle for bags. And the second scenario is about education quality. What we want to mention is school is not like a factory that produce homogeneous product. Each kids have different background and have different potential and unlimited potential. So teacher must treat kids as a human, not as a product of a factory. So teacher must treat them properly and identify what is the kid's strength and their weakness. Okay. So the last point is ready to shift paradigm. We must have to do things differently to get a different result. In this story, the new principal come and ask to pass all the kids by change the learning process. Before this, 16% of students didn't meet the expectations. So by doing the same thing, it is impossible to get a different result. We must make a change in our process so we can get a different result. Okay, so next slide. Okay, so the next slide is we would like to know more about the following. The first, how to meet all stakeholder expectation about school quality. So just like what Dr. Habibah explained before this, when KPM want to make a new educational blueprint, they make a lot of engagement with a various of party. Because education involve many people like industry, parent, teacher, school and kids. So it is difficult to meet all expectation, especially with limited resources. Okay. So the second point is, does the ranking really measure the quality of school? Okay, sometimes society like to compare the quality of the school by looking at the examination ranking, such as UPSR, PMR and SPM. But right now, UPSR and PMR is abolished, so we only have SPM. But right now, school are try to become less exam oriented. In the new blueprint, we are moved from exam oriented to growth oriented. But sometimes parents still ask about ranking because ranking are easier to compare and contrast. Okay. So the last point, how to bridge the gap between school quality in different socio-economic background. Urban background have more advantage than rural area background that will lead to gap in school quality. So how to prevent this to happen? So all the school in the nation will get a better process, will get a better resource. So all the school can become a quality school, right? So the last slide, okay, the last slide is about the reference. So this is the three reference that we refer. First, we refer to Malaysia Education Blueprint to get the big picture of the quality, the plan of KPM. The second, the 7 habits of highly effective pupil. I think this book is quite good to make changes. And the third books is supervision and instruction leadership. So how the school supervisor can make changes in an organization. So conclusion by our group is the conclusion for our presentation is good process will lead to a better product. Okay, so I think that's all for from us. Thank you.
All right. Thank you to this group for your presentation.